What's up, Panda Nation? Peter from Panda here. Hey, just got something from Bratleboro. Ordered this a little while ago. I think it comes from France. Came from overseas. Designed in Spain. Yes, came from Spain. Did not mean to say France. The French and the Spanish are not the same. Europe is not monolithic. Hey, this one's called the caramel, and it's not for eating. There's the number. Just found this website, basically, and reached out to the guys at Bratleboro because they have some really interesting designs. If you liked my videos about the movement watches, I think you're going to find that these are maybe in some ways kind of similar. So Bratleboro, hope I'm pronouncing that right. They have a bunch of really kind of minimalist design, minimalist style watches, I should say, not minimal design. Kind of simple designs that really just look pretty classic, and we'll get to kind of the value at the end. But this one's a caramel, and that's really a reference to the band, I believe. And so wanted to check it out. Really excited about doing that. And as you can see here, you know, again, very similar to the movements. Let's take a look here. Let me pull this out here too. We have what looks like a brushed finish. It's in steel. Just really nice construction. No abnormalities in the case, you know, so it's either milled or stamped very nicely. And I like that the kind of the brushing is all single directional. Hardened mineral crystal. So you get that. The crown here is offset, you know, to the 2 o'clock position, and a Bratleboro B on there. Some knurling there. And let's see, just pull it out here and then adjust the time. It's 44 millimeters in diameter and 8.5 millimeters wide. So I think, like I said before, just a Goldilocks style or size for me. It's just a great size. It's not too big. It's not too small. To each his own on that. But you know, for me, it's a great size. Look at this kind of suede looking, I think just beautiful looking band. It kind of feels almost like a little cork. Side stitched with pretty similar colored thread, and you know, it's just a nice tan caramel, I guess. Square cuts for the holes, and then actually a pretty nice buckle right there, again in that same, you know, plated black with brushed finish and Bratleboro on the buckle, and also a B emblazoned there, and you know, squared off edges. I just think it's nice, and man, it's so soft. It's so, you know, not so, you know, broken in. It feels comfortable right out of the box, as opposed to being really, you know, tight and stiff, which a lot of bands can be. Now let's take a look at it. I called it the Goldilocks size watch, and I will stand by that. I think for me, 44 is perfect. It also gives me a little room that, depending on how they're measuring it with like crown protectors or something, if it goes up to 45, no big deal. If it's a little under 43, no big deal. I almost can't ever tell the difference. So 44 is great. Look at the black with the tan. I've already said that's a color combo that I really love. And what makes this a little different is that a lot of black watches tend to have black dials, and this one has a very bright white one. So it gives it a real modern look, in my opinion, right? It kind of gives it a very contempo casual look. And as you can see there, kind of a paper white dial. Looks like we have applied markers for the hour markers. And then I will say, I feel like, you know, they might just be like chrome polished silver, but they almost look like a black chrome. I'm not sure if that's the lighting or not, but they look great. You know, those markers almost look black in some direction. So I don't feel like they're just a polished stainless steel. They're like kind of like a black chrome. And I like how, you know, the squared, you know, the very geometric straight lines here are reflected on the hands too. It just kind of all looks very unified. And Bratleboro in cursive on the dial. And then you can also see the second hand there is a very thin needle, like in a sky blue or a baby blue. So it just kind of sets it off from the rest of the watch, you know, in a way that the movement does too. The MVMT watches do, and I think it looks great. It's just a little bit of color, a little bit of sass to it, and I think it looks great. Now, if we look at the back here, let me pull off the back. Got a pry off stainless steel back, Bratleboro Yellowstone Japanese quartz movement right there. I think it's a Miyota quartz, you know, 3-hand movement, and as you might suspect, with a kind of a peel off or a pop off compression fitted back plate, it's not going to be a very expensive watch, and we'll kind of get to that. Also, quick release spring bars here. I do love those. Man, I love when companies actually just include them. I think that's the way, if you have a spring bar watch, that's just the way it should be, because they're so nice. I didn't get it in the hole there. There we go. Lock it in, but man, just that easy to take it off, put it back on. It really allows you as an owner to be more flexible, to change the style of a single watch by just replacing straps very easily. It actually saves you a lot of money. I know I have a lot of watches that, whether I'm wearing like a black or a brown belt, I would love to just swap in a different band and match it, but sometimes that's not super convenient or realistic. But with this, you could certainly do it, not make a big thing about finding your watch band removal tool. So, all right, let's get back to what I was saying about the value, right? This is, I think, a really great looking watch, and the thing about it is I could take a stab at it because of the price point on it. So this sells for, on their website, which has a lot of different watches in the style, really, but in a lot of different color combos and some other interesting things. It's only 35 euros, so it ends up being like $40 or so, $45. Man, what a deal, right? It seems like solid construction. It's a mineral crystal instead of a plastic or acrylic, and man, it's comfortable to wear. And like I said, you're going to pay more for a lot of the other minimalist watches that I've reviewed here, and I don't think they're bad values. I think those are a steal at $100 or $140. But I'll be honest, at $45, it kind of blows my mind that you can get a watch of this quality for that price, because I've also had some watches at that price point that were much lower quality, but this one is pretty stinking nice. So Bratleboro, great job at providing some style. I know that not all of us, including the Panda here, have unlimited funds for watches, so it's just kind of nice to be able to buy a watch, maybe even start a collection, get yourself something in different styles for different seasons, different outfits, for different moods, and not necessarily break the bank, right? Especially, it's one of those things where you guys were asking me if I was continuing my Watch Gang subscription. I'm not, and it was just, for $40 a month, I just wasn't getting anything really interesting. This is the alternative, in my opinion, and it's one I'm happy with. So take that $40 and go out and find something that not only is a style I like, but then you can also discover that, man, I think you can get a good watch, maybe I think even better quality than some of the stuff they're sending at that price point, without having to negotiate a discount or anything like that. So check it out. I'll put a link to it in the description, but really impressed, not just because of the price point, but a good, simple, stylish watch, but with the price point that it's at, just kind of amazing. Peter Von Panda, out.